Today from all of us here at CBS Sports HQ, the countdown to kickoff continues from Kansas City, where the Houston Texans will try to dethrone Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs entered this game as an 8.5-point favorite. This is just the third playoff meeting between these two teams. Chiefs taking both matchups. Houston, meanwhile, 0-5 all-time in the divisional round and the only team to never reach a conference championship game. So Houston will have to have some tricks up their sleeves and be clicking on all cylinders to change that later on today. For the more on the very latest out of KC, we say hello to our own AJ Ross, who is down in Arrowhead Stadium for us, and I'm alongside our own Logan Ryan. AJ, it is so great to see you. Let's start with giving us some insight into the mindset around this Chiefs team coming off the bye week.
I got to tell you, this is a very rested team coming off the bye week. They also rested their starters in week 18, so they've had several weeks to recover from some of their injuries. They are amped. They probably have the same mindset they have had since 2018. When you look at what the Chiefs have been able to do over that expanse, Patrick Mahomes in particular, he's 15-3 in the playoffs. He is undefeated in the divisional round. This is a team that is experienced. They seem to kick it up a notch when it's in the postseason, as well as Andy Reid is just really one of a kind. So they're coming in here with a lot of confidence. This is obviously home turf for them. There's going to be 70,000 plus fans here trying to, make it pretty difficult for the Texans today. And it's obviously also one of the loudest stadiums in the league. That's going to be a factor too in this game today. But this is a team that has experience and confidence, and when the lights are brightest, they shine.
Yes, that's for sure. We see it time and time again, especially in the playoffs. Earlier today, Logan, on HQ, you said that back when you used to play for Bill Belichick, he wasn't really a fan of the bye week because you lose some of that momentum. So how do the Chiefs today channel that momentum, given the point that they've had the time off?
Yeah, so when you're the Chiefs, you're the team with the 1 seed. You were off last week. The Chiefs starters have been off for 3 weeks, right? And you're playing a Houston team that believes. They just got a road victory. So we always knew that game coming off of a bye week, you're playing an underdog team that's going to use that momentum, use that storyline, that chip on their shoulder. They just won a playoff game. Their fans are believing. They just played good football, because you have to play good football to win a playoff game. So you have to start this game really quickly if you're the Chiefs. Now, here's the thing. If you don't start it well, if the wild card team comes in there, or the 6 seed or the 4 seed comes in there, and they kind of blitz you kind of early, that could make you blink unless your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, right? He doesn't blink. So they might face adversity early. We've seen the Chiefs get behind early in games of Patrick Mahomes' career. In these divisional rounds, they get behind early, but they do not blink. The Chiefs know who they are. So I expect the Texans to start off hot. Will the Chiefs blink? Will this be the year they blink? I haven't seen that on Patrick Mahomes yet, but that's typically what can happen in these games.
Well, they're going to have to, that's for sure. Let's get to the Texans now here, AJ. You don't want to count this team out despite being 8.5-point dogs in this game. I mentioned off the top their 0-5 record in divisional games. They're the only team in the NFL to have never reached a conference championship game. What's their game plan going into this game a little bit later on today in order to silence some of the doubters who think they don't have a chance against this Patrick Mahomes-led team?
I think the Texans are using some of those doubters as motivation. Even if you look back to last week and former Jets coach Rex Ryan doubting this team, they used that as added motivation in their dominant win over the Chargers. Not to mention the last time that these two teams met was week 16. It was late in December. It was a game in which wideout Tank Dell unfortunately suffered a season-ending knee injury. C.J. Stroud said this is going to be a very emotional game for them for that reason. They want to get a win over the Chiefs for Tank. Plus, DeMeco Ryans has been getting the best out of his guys all year. This is a defense that has really presented problems for opposing offenses. They have led the league in completion percentage allowed. They have 23 interceptions on the year. That's second best in the league. That's something I'm sure Logan Ryan there enjoys as well with their corners. Derek Stingley Jr. and Kamari Lassiter have really been putting on a show this year. year. They get pressure off the edge with Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, who also have a combined 23 sacks this year. So this is a Texans team that can possibly cause some problems today.
AJ, we so appreciate you braving this cold. It looks like it's absolutely frigid out there. We're seeing the wind just ripping behind you. Your hair is blowing in the wind. Just give us a piece and take us inside Arrowhead Stadium right now on this weather and how both teams expected to play a role in today's game.
Well, I'm not crying because of excitement. It is for sure the wind. There are double-digit wind gusts expected today, and also what we're feeling right now. It's making the wind chill actually more in the teens and the single digits. So people are going to be layered. I've seen some Chiefs fans out here early tailgating. They got their layers on. They are from head to toe in their Chiefs gear. But conversely, as you know, a lot of Chiefs players obviously are used to this, and people have been speculating, will the Texans play well in cold weather? CJ Stroud, he comes from Ohio State. I mean, it is cold in Ohio, too. He's used to huge atmospheres like this, huge stadiums, you know, with the roaring fans. So I don't think the weather is going to be as much a factor for these Texans as people are making it out to be. This is January football. It is cold. It actually provides, I think, a theatrical kind of presence for this one. It makes it a little more dramatic, so I'm looking forward to it.
It definitely brings the drama. You played in some of those games. No joke.
Quite a few. I played in some frigid games in Arrowhead, playoff games. It is very cold there. You know that, but to win a championship, you got to go through cold weather. That's just most likely how it goes. That's what it takes to win one. And when the cold weather comes, what happens? Right? Your team's still your team. CJ Stroud, I think, will be able to play in it. Patrick Mahomes could obviously play in it. Travis Kelce's going to be fine. It slows the game down a step. It slows the game down a step. Some of the speed players don't run as fast. Your hamstrings don't feel great when it's 2 degrees out there. But you expect the possession players. You expect the Travis Kelce's of the world. You expect those guys to kind of dominate. The game slows down. The tight ends, the running game, third down, the critical situations, the game slows down, those big moments in the end, the fourth quarter, who's not cold, who can go finish them. That's what you see, physicality. Physical teams win championships. The Chiefs are built on it. They've been physical for years. They play physical defense. And Houston, they have a physical runner in Joe Mixon. I think they got to lean on him. They got some great rushers, great guys on defense playing well. So I love to see the physical matchup in the cold weather.
Yeah, you know, you have to go through those January games. You know that first and foremost, having won 2 Super Bowls. You know, we mentioned earlier you played for Bill Belichick. If Andy Reid, you guys, wins this game, he is one of 4 head coaches to reach 300 wins, joining, of course, Bill Belichick. You know, AJ, you've had a chance to talk with Andy Reid. Does he feel the history of this moment?
I think he feels it to a degree, but obviously he's just very focused on one game at a time. Like a lot of coaches and players in this league, you have to just be in the moment and not so much thinking about legacy when you're trying to, you know, first and foremost get to where you want to go to create that history. But obviously it's been a journey for Andy, even going back to his days in Philadelphia. And this would be epic to be the first team to actually win 3 Super Bowls in a row and seal their names in history as, you know, a modern day dynasty, if you will. So it's something that's on everybody's radar, and it's something that's palpable here in Kansas City among the fans as far as excitement and anticipation and seeing if this could be the team to do it.
As we get set to put a bow on things, as I mentioned, you played for Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
You've watched Andy Reid in his career. How would you compare both of these head coaches, Logan?
Well, I would say, first and foremost, that great head coaches don't make it about them. You know, it's about the team and the players. He gets the best out of his players. I believe the best coaches maximize their players, and it helps when you have Hall of Fame quarterbacks with that winning. But if you look at that list, I mean, Andy Reid can go catch some of these guys, right? He has Mahomes for years to come. He's going to keep restructuring that contract to keep the talent there. Andy Reid seems like he's not going anywhere anytime soon. His job is pretty safe there in Kansas City. So he's on a good track here. And listen, Bill Belichick is the GOAT head coach of ask any football player that's played in the National Football League. Ultimate respect goes to Bill Belichick and what he has done. But Andy Reid is going to get his name in this list. And at least we're going to have a good conversation like we do in NBA basketball and all these other sports about who the GOAT is. I think Andy Reid is going to be entering that conversation soon, especially this generation, what he's done. Obviously, Belichick and Brady has had it. Now, Mahomes and Andy Reid have their turn at it. So I think I love Andy Reid as a head coach. Guys love playing for him. I've never heard any player say anything bad about him, and he gets the most out of his players. So you got to root for a guy like that.
Logan Ryan, incredible insight as always, along with you, AJ. Thanks so much for joining us and braving the cold. Stay warm out there. We appreciate it. You are busy this weekend with a slate of great divisional games. And if you're looking to throw some money down, here's a look at the current odds for each divisional round matchup.